Good morning, Sean. Did Gabe Davis have a setback Wednesday? Saw he went from limited to DMP yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if he qualified as a setback, but he did, let's just say, aggravated a little bit, John. I don't know if it's a setback from a medical standpoint or not, but he did aggravate it. We'll see how it looks today, and I think he's on schedule to go.
And then I meant to ask you this earlier in the week, just didn't get a chance. Tommy Doyle, I don't want to go too far back, but I didn't see any moment in the game Sunday where he appeared to be injured, and then we find out he tore his ACL. Do you have any idea of even when it happened, or did you not even know about it, or he maybe not until the end of the game?
Yeah, it was unreal type of situation. We're down. I think he was our last lineman there that we had available to us, and he's playing guard and trying to go win the game. And we get done the game, and I knew that he had a knee injury, whatever it was, or a leg injury. And I go back on the plane on the way home just to check on the guys, and I said, "Tommy, how you doing?" And he's like, I'm fine. It's nothing." And then next morning I get the communication from our training staff that he has a torn ACL and he's out for the season. So just, obviously that's not normally how that goes. But just shows you how tough Tommy is, and really appreciate how he played through it. So
appreciate it, Sean. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean. With Ed, obviously he's missed the last 2 games, and with those ankle injuries, you probably want to, take your time. How do you balance that with a guy who's maybe seems anxious to get back, but you don't want to bring him back too soon?
Well, I think you always have to put the health and safety of the player first in any situation, and that's what we always try and do. And if you can't go out there, and saying generally speaking, if you can't go out there and protect yourself, or B, play to a certain level, play to that level of winning football level, then obviously, we have to make a decision against the player being out there. But we know Ed wants to be out there. He loves to play the game. He loves being out there with his teammates.
You talked about Tavon on WGR a little bit, and the look that he's given you guys. How much fun is that for the players? We know what they all think of him, the respect that they have for him, but a guy that's kind of flashy, entertaining in practice, what's that setting like?
Yeah, it's fun. I think it brings some energy to the team, and fun to see a guy go out there and really embrace the role. Like, he put himself into the role, which is cool to watch, and appreciate him putting the team first in that regard too, because it could easily be, "Hey, I'm a receiver. I don't do that. It's not what I do." But I think the guys had some fun with it, and I think he did also.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hi, Sean. It's Jay with the Buffalo News. Is Ryan still in the protocol? Ryan Bates?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then regarding the offensive line, Mitch Morse, are you optimistic about him? How has he looked this week with the elbow injury?
Yeah, we are. We're going to continue to take a lot of those guys one day at a time. And Mitch is one of those guys. Dane, Jordan, Ed, Dawson, Justin as well, Justin Murray as well. So we got a few of those guys in that same category.
Yeah, with the interior offensive line, with Ryan's uncertainty, Mitch's uncertainty, just how do you piece that puzzle together? Obviously, you mentioned earlier you were down to 5 healthy guys up front at the end of last game. So just what has the challenge been, particularly on the interior of getting a healthy 5 out there right now?
Yeah, well, that's where you count on some of the position flexibility, or the ability for guys to bank on the foundation that they got in training camp. Jay, with like Bobby Hart has played before this year, mostly tackle. Now he's played some guard in training camp for us. He's back. So you have some of those guys that can play more than one position, or have at least experience playing more than one position, which is good for us in these situations, like you said.
Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, I wanted to clarify. You said Gabe's on schedule and to be out there. I wanted to clarify if you're referring to practice or the game.
Practice today. He will be out there in practice today. We'll get a better look at him. And like I said, I think he just aggravated it, and we just gave him a day.
Okay, so no, the game's still kind of up in the air then.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
And then I was also curious when it comes to guys like Justin Murray, obviously he's also dealing with his health stuff, but Xavier Rhodes too. How quickly can they kind of assimilate into what you guys do and like potentially be out there Sunday, or how much ramp up time do they kind of need to learn everything, you know, the offense, defense, and kind of get used to what the team is doing to be able to play?
Yeah, I think there's two things there, two chapters to that book, Elena. One is, are they in shape? Because when you sign veteran players this time of year, they're usually in different spots, like in terms of how recently they played, which affects how soon they get into shape. And then that's A. And then B is, as you mentioned, assimilating into the scheme, learning the scheme enough to go out and execute the scheme does take some time. And again, sometimes that differs just based on if they've played in a similar scheme or this scheme before, or if they haven't.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, I know you said earlier this week with Dane Jackson that it was going to be kind of going each day and reevaluating where he was at. I was just wondering, how is he doing right now? And what is it looking like for that position come Sunday? If he's
he's one of those guys. Maybe I failed to mention him in the, we'll see today as well. I thought he looked good yesterday. We'll take another look at him today, and obviously wanted to be cautious with his situation, obviously with what he went through there. So, but I think he's moving in a good direction.
Is there, I know you guys had a plan the whole time, but is there any heightened sense of caution after seeing what happened last night of just with any guy with a head or neck injury? I know they're separate situations, but just as a coach watching that last night, what is that like?
Well, yeah, I was watching it as a coach. And like I said, with Dane's situation, when that happened, you go from that coach hat to the human hat, and that's real. And it's very unfortunate to watch a player go through that. We wish Tua and his family the best. Those are situations you take seriously. I mean, you take all injuries seriously, right? And you want to make sure that the health and well-being of the player are number one. And, so that's, with any situation, it's unfortunate when a player goes down, because there's people in the stands that are their families or they're at home watching. And that's the human side of all this.
And then if, he's unable to go Sunday, just what have you seen this week out of DeMarcus, out of Xavier, as he's getting to know the team? Just what does that group look like?
DeMarcus continues to grow. He's a young player that's only going to get better. Love the look in his eye. He loves to compete. Xavier is actually hurt right now. He's got a hamstring. So I don't think that's going to happen this week. We'll see.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, Sean, one more from me. I know you guys will never put someone out on the field who's not physically ready, but maybe sometimes if a guy's 50-50, if, you may just make a decision, is it worth it to try to push it or not? With the amount of injuries that you have, are there some guys, not specifically, that just may have to power through based on a numbers game?
Well, I think that's where, you try and get great communication with the player, right? And in terms of where is he, right? Can he go out there and A, protect himself, and then B, can he play to a certain level, which we would say is winning football. And there's a range in there, right? Of I can go out there and protect myself, but B, I can't get to that winning level of football. And all players, most if not all players that I've ever been around, want to be out there. And sometimes, again, you have to hold them back because they can't protect themselves. Or from a team standpoint, you don't want to put them out there to say that where they can't do the job right well enough, although they want to be out there. So there's a lot of communication that has to unfold there, and it's got to be accurate. And that's the real sweet spot you try and find, John. It's hard to get to. It really is.
Thanks, Sean.